Hey everyone, Eric here in the school garden. Welcome back to our channel. If you are new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Make sure before you leave to subscribe, like this video, comment, share this video, and click the notification bell in the corner to be notified of when we drop new videos, which is every single week. For those that have already subscribed and you are part of our journey here throughout our gardens, throughout all of our youth development programs, thank you so much for joining us for another video. In today's video, it's the first day, well, it's not technically the first day of spring, but it's our first garden vlog for the spring season. And I'm really excited to show you guys all the things that are growing, all of the plants in the greenhouse that are growing, all of the plants here in the garden that are growing, and all of the fruit trees are finally producing fruit and leaves and foliage, all that good stuff. So I just wanted to give you the very first vlog of the garden season here in the school garden. So let's get into it. All right, so we're actually in the front of the garden, and I wanted to show you the rows that students have been working on and cleaning up. They're nearly done, but there are a few spots that still need to be tended to. So as you see, these are the 6 rows in the front of the garden, and we have a beautiful butterfly joining us today. But sadly, I did have to remove the rosemary bush that was right here. I previously asked you guys, I think it was either, if you follow us on TikTok, I did post a video asking like for anybody's tips or opinions on what should happen to that rosemary bush since it wasn't producing any new leaves once the weather changed. So we removed it because a lot of people was like, after giving some time and see if new leaves grow back, if not, just pull it up. So that's what we did. We pulled it up, and the students worked on this row today as well as those two. We removed that wire fencing and just placed it over there on the gravel because I think this year I would like the tomatoes to grow in that row. Last growing season, we had tomatoes grow here and in that bed there, and I think we had a few tomatoes in this row. These are onions. Previously we had potatoes here. We try to do like the crop rotation, so every garden season there aren't the same plants in every single row, which means if you put plants in the same row year after year after year, or in the same pot in the same raised bed, they're gonna continue to take up all those same nutrients, and your soil will be depleted after a while. I need to come and water these plants real quick, so let me do that because you can see kind of wilting right there. So let me do that real quick. Towards the end of May, June, that's when we will start harvesting our onions and garlic to make room and make way for more tomatoes and more peppers to be transplanted into the garden. We do need to start some more eggplants. We started eggplants about a week and a half ago. They still haven't germinated, so I'm not really sure if those seeds were good or what. So we are going to start some more eggplants. We've only managed to harvest a few ounces of eggplant throughout our time in the garden. So this year I really want to focus on growing more eggplants. So that's everything here. We have more garlic in here, but I mean, it's garlic, it looks the same. We'll be fertilizing all of the onions and garlic for the students this upcoming week since they won't be here. I'll do it for them, just continuing to prep the garden. That's really what we've been doing throughout these past few weeks, learning about soil, starting seeds, uppotting the seedlings, removing weeds, getting all of the areas ready for the spring, adding more soil, adding the worm castings and all that. So pretty much this whole time, these past few weeks, we've really just been preparing so that when Global Youth Service Day, which is on, it's throughout the month, this upcoming month, April, but our event for Global Youth Service Day is on the 29th of next month. And so we're just preparing everything so that on that day, all we have to do is worry about adding new soil, new compost that we are going to purchase. It's going to be like a large, I think 4 cubic feet. No, not 4. I think it's 40 cubic feet soil compost. I think don't don't hold me to that. But it's a large quantity of compost that we're going to get so that will just take up for the rest of this whole year. We won't have to worry about getting new soil. So all up until December, that soil will last. And all we have to do, worry about on Global Youth Service Day is just putting down the soil, putting down those amendments like the blood meal, fertilizer, bone meal, worm castings, and then putting the soil down and then planting, water, done. And we have, I'm going to show you in a minute, we have up to, I believe, roughly up to 100 plants or more individually in the greenhouse. So every day we are up potting. Every other day we're up potting. Every week we're starting new seeds. Pretty much every week, I think. But right here, which I'm standing in front of, is our long row. Last year, if you watch our videos in the corner, I'll have it pop up. That is a video showing you what this area looked like around this time last year. Well, not around this time, but it was like April, May. This area was so full. It was butterflies everywhere. And I really want to expound on that. I'm thinking this year we're going to like have little sections of plants. I think I would like to try to do that. So like this section be sunflowers, tomatoes, peppers, herbs, flowers, squash, green beans, and try to do it like that. Especially in these long rows where we have so much space, we could do like sections, and then in between each section have a little space where me or someone else working in the garden can walk and harvest. I'm thinking we will try to do that and see what that looks like. Right here, I'm going to prop you guys up because I do need to thin out these radishes. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so over here, the students, this is really the row that we really just have let go. But the students have started to work on it, like remove all the weeds and clean it up and prepare it for, like I said, Global Youth Service Day. There are just a few plants over here that are growing. We have garlic here. These are like the few garlic that we had left over, so we just decided to plant them. And you can see how at the bottom it's getting thicker and it's getting larger. So I'm really ready to harvest that. I think once the scapes are produced, if you don't know what I'm talking about when I refer to scapes, you can watch the video in the corner, which we discuss how to grow garlic. But once the scapes grow, which is like the seed pod of the garlic, we're gonna harvest a few at a time. We have cilantro over here. I think this is like a mix of cilantro and, no, this is cilantro. Yeah. But This is the area that really is haunting me. This was the area where this was here. This is a bush. I had two students work on removing this bush, and you can see how like the stump is still there. I don't know how we're gonna remove that. We're probably just gonna let that stay. We probably will need to chop at it some because you can see there are like little stems from this bush still trying to grow. I don't want it to grow. So I'm gonna figure out how to actually remove all of it. I may have to dig deep to do so, but that will be at a later date. As far as now, we just need to focus on removing a lot of the tall weeds and brush that is here because I really want to utilize this whole area for our three sisters. And the three sisters, if you don't know, are squash, corn, and green beans. So I want to use at least half of this row starting here at the edge of the garlic. Use that and go all the way back for the three sisters. And using that same method of sectioning off each area for each of the plants or each of the crops, I want to do that. So we probably will need to clean up as much as possible to do so. But yeah, we have 3 different varieties of corn that we're going to be growing this year. Eventually I do want to grow like colored corn, you know, like the red corn, blue corn, purple corn. I do want to try to grow those varieties. I may find a packet somewhere either through Lowe's, our local gardening center, or MI Gardener to see if they have any like colored corn varieties, because I do want to try growing some. That would be pretty cool to show the students like, hey, you can grow corn that isn't just yellow and white. I'm right here standing in the middle of our orchard. The blueberry trees have started to produce flowers and fruits. The fruit isn't nearly ready yet, so I don't think I have to worry about it being eaten by the birds anytime soon. Hopefully not. All of the trees have started to bloom. There is only one tree towards the end of our pear line that is fully bloomed and blossomed. This month we got down to freezing temperatures again, and I'm going to show you the leaves. Some of the leaves on all of the trees got blackened. Just want to tear that off. I don't want the leaves. There you go. I popped it off. I don't want that to damage the tree at any point. But all of the trees, all of the fruit is okay. I'm hoping. All of the flowers on the trees are okay because they're still blossoming and they don't look too bad. This is the, what variety? This is the Mutsu apple tree. You can see it has new blossoms that just came this week. And it has more foliage coming at every tip. This tree in particular, I need to provide it some support because you can tell that it's leaning, and I don't think it should be leaning like that. So I'm going to get some type of stake and so it can grow straight, because right now you can tell that see how it's leaning, and when it has fruit, you can tell all the fruit may be on this side, and then it's going to weigh it down even more. So we need to stake that immediately. And look at the grapes. These were not on here a few days ago. These leaves on the grapevines, so cool. I need to come and fertilize the grapes so that they can really do good this year. If you have any tips on how to grow grapevines and provide enough nutrition for them, please, please, please let me know. I'm still learning how to grow a few things in the garden, like grapes. Like, I'm still learning myself. So everything is a learning curve for me in regards to grapes. The reason why we put the grapes here is because this is like a little stage area for classrooms to come out and sit over here and do different lessons in the garden in an open space outside of the school. And I want the grapes to be able to grow and intertwine on the little fencing for the stage. That way it'll just be beautiful. You'll have the flowers, the vines, the leaves, and then eventually the grapes on them. And when the grapes do grow, we're eventually going to have to cover them up with the white fabric that we like to use, because I'm pretty sure that the birds will eat them once they do start to grow. So we're gonna have to make sure we do that. Like we want to be able to feed the birds, but we do want to feed families in need too. So half and half. I have some flowers that I clipped because I needed to prune the plant that was growing in the pollinator garden, small area that we have in the front part of the garden. And I removed these. These are the little seed pods that were grown. And I don't really know, like when I remove these and I try to see like what's a seed, I can't really tell. So what I'm gonna do is, I have my pot here of soil. I'm just gonna empty out each of these little seed pods into this container. So once it starts to grow, I will be able to let you guys know what kind of flower it is, because I do not remember. So these are the over 100 plants that I was referring to in the beginning of this video. So these are all of the plants that we have either already put into the garden because they are cool, friendly plants, meaning that they like the cool weather, or these are plants that will be a part of our spring, summer garden. So I'm just gonna go over all of the plants that we have. These right here are red cherry tomatoes. This is a pot of cherry tomatoes that I started, Cherokee cherry tomatoes. This is from my seed collection, my personal seed collection. We have Swiss chard, dill, some bush cucumber plants. Only one seed has already grown. I've only grown this one time and I wasn't able to harvest because it just did not produce any cucumbers, sadly. So we're gonna try our hand at it again. Hopefully more of the seeds germinate. Over here we have hot peppers. These are our sweet banana hot pepper. The thyme smells so good. Like, it's so aromatic. It's lovely. And we have Swiss chard and more peppers. These are the other long, thin cayenne peppers. This is a tray of butter crunch lettuce that was supposed to grow. I'm gonna take that out because it's not growing. A whole tray of more thyme. And then these are plants that were just started recently. Eucalyptus, okra, and more okra and tomatillos. These are some cantaloupe seeds that have already started to germinate, which is awesome. We have more artichokes, more basil, more peppers. This is, I don't know what this friendly plant here is. Don't know, we'll find out together. More peppers and mustard greens and basil. That is the garden, everyone. These are all the plants we have so far. We recently have purchased some pineapple. I think they're a pineapple striped tomato and another dwarf variety of tomato that produces a yellow fruit. So we're gonna start those plants after spring break, which is after next week, which means that the tomatoes that we start in another 2 weeks, those will go into the garden right after all of these plants do, because they will be started later. And we, like I said, we're gonna get more eggplant started, more eggplant seeds started. And I do want to get a, somewhere over here, we were supposed to have serrano pepper plants. I'm really not sure where they are. I know we were supposed to have serrano pepper started, but if not, I will start another tray of those. And yeah, I just really want to have a lot of produce growing this year. I don't want to have any empty spots throughout the garden. Last year we had a lot of empty spots and I don't think I ever did new starts of plants the plants that we had, that's what we had, and I didn't start any new ones during the summer. So this year I'm gonna do better in starting seeds every other cycle to continuously have a harvest coming in, like a new harvest, a new set of plants coming into the garden. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stick to it. But yeah, that's everything right here in the garden. I'm so excited to get started with putting plants outside in the garden and harvesting. If you want to follow us on that journey, make sure that you subscribe, like this video, comment, and share it. We would love to have you join us on this fabulous journey of teaching you throughout our county how to grow produce. Until next time, we will see you guys later in the garden. Bye.